So Zach Lavine is getting ready for the start of training camp in a couple of days. And I was looking through the articles, uh, doing my research about the upcoming season for the Chicago Bulls, and I found this about the Sporting News. They actually said Zach Lavine could surprisingly be playing in a bench role for the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season. I couldn't believe it. I had to flip it open, read through it, and I want to read through it with you guys. Like, is that even possible? Do Billy Donovan even have the guts or the balls to bring Zach Lavine off the bench? Let's read this article from Sport News. Bulls' unhappy marriage with star could surprisingly lead to bench role. I wasn't capping. Somebody actually think this and wrote this down and posted it. Can y'all believe this? Leave me in the comments. Do y'all think Billy Donovan got the guts to bring Zach Lavine off the bench? Maybe I'm just blowing it out of proportion. Just get it for context. Let's just read the article from the Sporting News. Colin Kane is the writer of this specific article. The Chicago Bulls' lack of direction heading into the training camp. Chicago's front office has failed for over a year to trade Zach Lavine. In a reportedly shattered relationship between the Bulls and Lavine is not exactly setting Billy Donovan's locker room up for success. Ah, who knows? They've been saying they've been having makeup dinners and makeup vacations, and you know they've been trying to get their relationship put together over the summer. Maybe it's all for nothing. Let's just read this. While Chicago may very well be looking for offers for Lavine, the reality of the matter is that he's on the roster and camp is days away. According to a new report from Bleacher Nation's Elias, shout out to Elias, bad blood between Lavine and the Bulls franchise is not something that has necessarily been left in the past. Hey, bro, that's really the problem with Zach Lavine. I think, this is my opinion. Zach Lavine, only problem with the Chicago Bulls, it's just gotta be Billy Donovan. That's what I dwindle it down to. He got paid a max money. You can't complain about the money. Probably couldn't probably couldn't play about playing time. All those little petty things he can't complain about because he got all of it. Only find one possible reason where he can be mad at the entire franchise, and that's Billy Donovan. Am I wrong? The Bulls are on the brink of their most interesting training camp in years. I agree with that. While the win loss column may not be at the top of their mind, there will be a handful of crucial storylines to follow in the coming weeks. Of course, the most important may be how Zach Lavine integrates back into the locker room. Definitely a lot of stories to go through with the Chicago Bulls, and it's going to play itself out. Is Lonzo Ball going to be back to his usual self? Uh, can my man Josh Iddey come in and revitalize his career, sort of? Is he a player for the future? Is Patrick Williams going to prove that he deserves that $18 million a year contract? Is Montez Buzelis going to come in and be the superstar that I think that he's going to be? Other stuff, too. You going to keep Javon Carter on this team? Here we go on. While the win-loss column may not be at the top of the mind, there are a handful of crucial storylines to follow in the coming weeks. Of course, the most important may be how Zach Lavine integrates back into the locker room. Many expected that the two-time All-Star will begin this season elsewhere. All signs also continue to point toward both parties wanting a divorce. However, the two have been forced to stay in their unhappy marriage for now, and there is no question that this could lead to some awkward tension behind the scenes. There will be no awkward tension behind the scenes. Zach Lavine will be with his teammates. I don't think he has a problem with his teammates per se. I think he has a problem with Billy Donovan. So I expect minimal drama behind the scenes. Just minimal. We all know where the beef started. Billy Donovan benched Zach Lavine that one game, and that's not where it ended. The very next game, DeMar DeRozan um, cons- uh, went out and had maybe a worse game and did not get benched. Played 40 minutes. Played 40 minutes the next game, did not get benched. A little favoritism. I can understand how Zach Lavine feels, but he's still holding that grudge. Zach. How would Billy Donovan deal with Lavine's situation, especially given the Bulls' guard-heavy roster? Increasingly, Chicago Sun-Times Joe Cowley suggested recently that Donovan might stagger Lavine's minutes so that he ends up playing more with the bench unit than the starters, a tactic that no many casual fans could have imagined. I just Okay, let's just think about the simple thing. You put your best players on the court to start the game. I think Zach, if not your best player, is one of those best players, especially at his position. He has to start. Now, if your goal of the team is to see these young players develop and Josh Giddey, Ayo Sumu, others, then I can see that. But if you just going on basketball logic, you want to put your best 5 players on the core on the floor according to position, right? So why on earth would you put Zach Lavine on the bench unless you just got to get this guy off the team? It's like he cannot play on the Chicago Bulls. Then you bench him. But do you think Billy Donovan and the Chicago Bulls have the balls to bench Zach Lavine? I do not. I do not. And I don't think it's going to be this drama infused season where we're going to be getting reports from the locker room every other day. It's just not going to happen. Zach's agent has said that Zach Lavine has been a professional. And I want to agree with that 100%. You ain't heard a lot from Zach Lavine on his side. Even when he came out and said he think he was just having a bad game and it was out of his hands. It was the coach's decision to bench him. You know what I'm saying? I think that was a professional response right after that game where he got benched by Billy Donovan. So this is interesting. What do you guys think? Should the Chicago Bulls bench Zach Lavine? Or do the Chicago Bulls got the balls to bench Zach Lavine? Because if they bench Zach Lavine, therein lies the drama. Then we'll be on ESPN, Fox. We'll be on all the news cycles every single day till he is traded. Interesting. But I don't see it happening. If you like what you heard, go on hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button too. And I'll be back with some more dope content. Oh, matter of fact, FGB for a effing living. You better know it.